In a country where cricket is a national source of pride, Sachin Tendulkar became a household name around the world, surpassing any of his team's achievements. He left behind a rich legacy as one of India's most recognizable stars, where he was making his fans so passionate that 60,000 people were once ejected from an event. He drew millions of Indians to follow him religiously. This is the story of Sachin Tendulkar and what it took for him to become the god of cricket. Sachin knew he wanted to be a sports player from a young age, but he struggled to make his mind up about which to pursue. He was equally enthralled by tennis, never missing a match watching his idol John McEnroe. And just like McEnroe, Sachin had a feisty temper, often getting into fights at his school in Mumbai. Growing his hair long like his American idol and even wearing the trademark dual sweatbands on his wrist, Sachin's future seemed clear. His older brother Ajit had a better idea though. He introduced Sachin to the world of cricket, sensing there was potential there and hoping it would instill more discipline in his wayward sibling. This would go on to define the rest of Sachin's life. After being accepted to a cricket academy and even changing schools, his parents were fully supportive of his pursuits. Sachin's talent was clear, but his work ethic was just as important. His coach incentivized Sachin by balancing a 1 rupee coin, equal to around 20 cents today, on the stumps, which Sachin could keep if no one was able to bowl him out. During his time at the academy, he earned 13 coins. This period was crucial time spent perfecting the batting skills that would one day help elevate his country to the top of the cricket world. The British could never have expected how competitive their colony would become after introducing them to cricket over 200 years ago. By the 1930s, India was playing against the likes of Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, and the West Indies. The first time the Indian team played on British soil, His Majesty the King of England attended. From the 1960s onwards, it became clear that one region was rising above the rest of the country. Bombay, or modern-day Mumbai, was producing talent after talent, helping the local team to win consecutive domestic championships. 2 years before Sachin Tendulkar was born, in 1971, the national team reached a major milestone, beating the English team for the first time. But that was not the end of it. By the time he was 15, Sachin was well on his way to becoming a sporting legend. As Sachin was developing as a young player through the 1980s, so was the team. By the time he was ready for the national squad, he would join the strongest team in Indian history, ready to take on the world. And in 1989, at just 16, he made his international debut against Pakistan. In the 4th test, Waqar Younis launched a fast bowl that bounced into Sachin's face, causing him to bleed excessively. But in an early show of his determination, he refused any medical treatment. Despite an inconsistent batting record throughout the tour, Sachin, still just 16 years old, had proved himself to be the future of Indian cricket, something he solidified by scoring centuries against New Zealand, England, and Australia against the best players in the world. With their secret weapon Tendulkar, India beat New Zealand in a 1989 series hosted between Bangalore, Bombay, and Hyderabad. Tendulkar averaged 29.25 runs throughout the series, scoring 117 runs at one test. He bewildered fast and slow bowlers alike with fluent footwork, razor-sharp reaction times, and great balance, firing shots to the offside and barreling to the boundary. The following year, they defeated Sri Lanka and in 1992 dominated the English team. But both England and Sri Lanka had been topped by Australia in the previous year, and India's trip down under would be the true testing ground for Tendulkar's form. To make the pressure even greater, Australia was hosting the upcoming 1992 Cricket World Cup. In a pre-tournament warm-up game, Tendulkar scored 148 not out in the 3rd test against Australia, becoming the youngest batsman to ever do it on Australian soil. India didn't have a successful World Cup, placing 7th by points, but Sachin Tendulkar helped drive the team to their only 2 wins as the highest run scorer for India against Zimbabwe as well as against eventual champions Pakistan. The future of the Indian team was clear. All their hopes rested on Tendulkar, who had been nicknamed the God of Cricket. Towards the end of the 1990s, Australia was assembling its strongest team in decades, including the likes of superstars like Shane Warne, who was the most feared spin bowler of his generation. But Tendulkar rose to the occasion, scoring 3 consecutive centuries during Australia's tour of India, including a 204-run inning. And by 1999, the stage was set for Indian cricket fans to infamously descend into chaos against old rivals. The Indian public had never been more enthusiastic about their cricket team, embodied by their hero Sachin Tendulkar, and this support hit a fever pitch in 1999 in a game against Pakistan during the Asian Test Championships. The two have a bitter history, which came to the fore when Pakistan's star fast bowler Shoaib Akhtar squared up against Tendulkar. Akhtar tried to find him before the match to pull some psychological tricks, telling the god of cricket that he had no chance against Akhtar's speed.
I went up to him, I looked at him, I checked out him, I said, brother, you have no chance against me.
Sure enough, he bowled Tendulkar out on the first ball with an in-swinging Yorker that rocketed through the stumps in the first innings. But things were about to spin out of control. In the second innings, Akhtar and Tendulkar again collided, this time literally. After hitting the ball to deep mid-wicket, Tendulkar scored 2 runs before running directly into Akhtar on the third, and quickly after the stumps were knocked. That meant Tendulkar, who was lying on the ground, was called out. To the neutral, it was an accidental collision, with some even blaming Tendulkar. But to the almost 100,000 Indian fans, it was an act of interference and cheating. They began to throw bottles at Akhtar and it spiraled out of control. Tendulkar himself emerged back onto the field to try and pacify the crowd, but later in the innings they began burning newspapers and throwing stones, causing the police and security to eject around 65,000 people. Through the early 2000s, Tendulkar became the center point of the Indian team, despite their performance dropping and growing speculation about his place in the team. He responded to criticism by returning to form in 2007 and 2008, clinching his 38th Test century and making the past 16,000 runs in one-day international matches before breaking the 12,000 mark for Test runs. He went on to lead India to win the 2011 World Cup, which attracted over 500 million viewers worldwide, as it was Shirley Tendulkar's last. Physically, Tendulkar was suffering increasingly from injuries, and in 2013 he announced his full retirement, scoring 74 runs in his final Test innings against the West Indies. He passed the torch to the next man in the batting order, Virat Kohli, who went on to be the Indian captain and steer the nation back to the top of the global rankings. Tendulkar's powers went far beyond a pure batsman, though. Early in his career, he had originally wanted to be a bowling specialist before being advised otherwise, even training to be a fast bowler. However, he continued to develop as a spin bowler. This proved essential to India's 2001 Kolkata Test against Australia, where he took out the star batters Matthew Hayden and Adam Gilchrist. These kinds of performances, overshadowed by his extraordinary batting record, have seen him voted Man of the Series 15 times, as well as 62 Man of the Match awards. Off the field, too, Tendulkar was finding success. In 2003, he was voted India's greatest sportsman and was included in Time magazine's 100 Most Influential People in 2010. In 2014, he was bestowed with the honor of Bharat Ratna, which is the highest possible civilian award given by the Republic of India. His image expanded far beyond the borders of cricket, turning him into one of the most influential cricketers of all time. He's earned the admiration of other great batters like Sir Donald Bradman. Ricky Ponting, former Australian captain and battling legend in his own right, has described Tendulkar as technically the best batter he's ever seen. His name has been continued through his son Arjun, who now plays in the Indian Premier League for Mumbai. At age 23, Arjun still has a long time to live up to his father's name, though no one can ever have the same lasting impact that Sachin Tendulkar has on cricket.